We haven't been married that long. You can't take this away from me. Oh, watch me do it. Dude, salute to you, man.
Ex-wife asked for open marriage during honeymoon. I filed for annulment. Ex-wife was devastated and tried to get spousal support. Hello, True Story Epic. I recently heard the story of a woman having deep regret after asking her husband for an open marriage. He accepted, but then replaced her. Yes, I replaced my ex-wife as well, but with a life of freedom and happiness. She begged for me to stay, but once she mentioned an open marriage, I knew it was over. I did not accept, and she knew I was filing for an annulment that night. It was a quiet trip back home from the Big Bear retreat. We live in Seattle, Washington. I guess I'll start from the beginning. So, I met my ex-wife in 2021. We met outside of my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym. I used to compete, but now I train fighters. I thought I vetted this woman very well over the years. I initially was not going to talk to her. I thought it was her son that she'd bring to training. He was an older teenager. It actually was her nephew. She was living next door to her sister, but her sister worked during the time of class. So my now ex-wife Lisa would bring her nephew to training. When she mentioned one day that he was her nephew, then I was interested. I'm just a true believer that if a man doesn't have children, he doesn't need to get into a relationship with a woman with children. Relationships are difficult already, no need in blending families. I've seen it go wrong too often within my family, with brothers and cousins. So, Lisa, this is about the fifth time she dropped off her nephew. She stayed this time, and afterwards we ended up talking. Now, before I thought she was very attractive, and I wanted to talk to her, but like I said, her having a kid is just a no-go for me. I don't care what a woman looks like at all. If she has kids, I'm not doing it, but knowing that, I knew he was her nephew. I felt comfortable hitting on her. That's exactly what I did. She was telling me how my car was her dream car. I drove a Range Rover. She said my car was her dream car. I was letting her know that I was about to trade it in for something else, because at one point in time, it was my dream car. I finally got it. I kept it for 2 years during the lease, but ended up getting something else. But anyway, we were chatting and chatting, and she told me that she didn't have any kids. She was not married, she wasn't in a relationship, so I got her number and executed that night. We talked for a couple hours, got to know each other very well, and decided to go to a museum the following weekend for our first date. This museum was going to have wine. I remember suggesting that and telling her that we could have wine and look at some of the art, but her reactions to me mentioning wine was just unusual. She said, "No, I do not drink. I do not drink at all." Okay, that's fine. I won't drink either. During that conversation, I asked, "Have you ever drunk before?" And she told me how she used to drink, and she had to cut it out because her body does something to her mind and causes her to say foolish things or act in foolish ways. Now keep this all in mind, everyone. I asked her when the last time was. She said it had been a few years, but in college it was pretty bad. She asked me if she could be transparent with me. I told her absolutely. I want that. She told me in college, alcohol caused her to get involved with multiple men, and that's just not who she is. In college, she just felt like she needed to sleep with someone once she got drunk, and she made a name for herself on campus. And it's not something she's proud of. She regrets it every day. She has a fear of running into someone she went to college with because they'll say, "Oh, that the girl that I remember you." It is really embarrassing for her, she said. And she said she never told anybody that before, but she just felt really comfortable with me. Now, true story, I'm pretty sure people on your channel will say that was a red flag. You should have left her. Why would you get with her? She was a town bicycle, blah, blah, blah. I feel like if I felt that way and did that, then I would be in the wrong. I'm here to tell you, in college, I was slamming them left and right. I don't know what it is about being on a college campus, but everybody's horny and everybody's going out and drinking. Now, I didn't have an alcohol problem, but every weekend, a different girl. Heck, sometimes throughout the week. I remember a few times during class, the girl flirting with me and asking me what I was up to after class. She invited me to her apartment or to her dorm room. It was just a normal thing, so I didn't judge her off of that. We went to the museum and had an amazing day that day. I didn't have any training to do, and we actually went back to her house and hung out. It's not what you guys think. She didn't give me any. We literally sat there and just talked and played a couple board games, but it was just conversation. We tried to watch a movie, but we both passed out. I woke up on her couch and I woke her up and let her know that I was going to leave. It was late in the evening. She stopped me and told me that she's going to be my wife one day. I looked at her and said, "Oh, you're moving kind of fast, aren't you?" She says, "No, I just know I'm going to be your wife." Have a nice night. Call me when you get home. I called her before bed that night. Yeah, I was a little softy. I told her I think I felt the same way. She's going to be my wife one day. I know. We got a simp in the building. Falling in love on the first date? Yeah, I agree. Silly. It was silly. I don't know what it was. We just kind of clicked very well. We got along really well, but that's not enough to marry somebody. Marriage is a big thing. I got a lot going on for myself, so I got really, really lucky. Fast forward to 2023. I proposed to Lisa. She was happy and said yes. We had planned out our wedding and everything. Then we decided that we really didn't need to have a big wedding. We knew we loved each other and wanted to be together, but she did bring up something. She wanted to have a bachelorette party. Now, I've heard on your channel, True Story, horror stories about bachelorette parties. Well, that was after this event. Before, I never really thought about it. I never really thought that these parties are strictly to get your last pow wow before you jump the broom. I never thought that. I never had it in my mind that I'd have a bachelor party and sleep with someone, or my fiance would do the same. Never even considered it. I didn't hear about Dancing Bear until I got on YouTube and heard stories about bachelorette parties. I didn't know about that. I'm not dumb. I know people cheat. Okay, cool. My party was with a bunch of guys, my friends, brother and cousins. We had a ball. We freaking wrestled in my backyard. I got grown kids. We had so much fun. What went down at the bachelorette party? I don't really know. This is what I do know. I got a call from Lisa. Thought it was strange, but I was wondering what she wanted during the time we were both supposed to be at our parties, and I actually missed the first call. She sent a text and I replied, and then she called me back immediately. I never heard Lisa sound this way. She had been drinking heavily. She was so happy telling me that she's having so much fun, and she just wanted to know if I was having as much fun as she was. Most of the girls are settling down. It was unusually quiet. I asked her, "So what did you guys do?" She said we listened to music, played some games, and then her cousin surprised her with a performer, some guy dressed as a police officer. He said they were making too much noise, and all of a sudden music turns on and he starts taking his clothes off. Lisa is telling me this straight up. I'm thinking, oh, okay. Well, we didn't have dancers, but I guess we didn't have any rules about dancers. I asked, did he dance on you? Lisa said, yeah, he did a little bit. I pushed him off. He eventually started dancing for the other girls. I said, okay, cool, and I appreciated her for being honest with me. This is what I found weird, but I never could find any evidence. But I know most of you are going to say, dude, that was enough. Listen to me. So while Lisa and I were talking, I hear a guy say, who's next? Lisa immediately says, oh, baby, my phone is dying. I'm just going to go to sleep. Okay, I'm going to go. And she hung up abruptly. I called back and it rang. It rang. It rang. I called back again and it kept going to voicemail. Now you know what was going through my head. This dancer is piping down all the women there or something. Just to let you guys know, my night was ruined. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I didn't even know where they were. I tried to ask around. No one knew. Later found out that they were at one of Lisa's friend's house, but the next day, Lisa and I were together. I'm asking her all about her night. I'm questioning her. She's like, "Are you okay, hun? You're acting like I cheated or something." I said, "Well, it sure did sound like it." I heard what the guy said. Lisa says, "What guy?" There was no guy there, just the girls. I know exactly what I heard. I heard it clear. A man sounded like he was about to pipe down someone else. I never had any hard evidence on her. I didn't know. She didn't smell different. She didn't feel different. I kept telling myself maybe I'm tripping. Maybe she didn't do anything and I just heard something. Or I heard someone say something. Maybe it was the TV. If she cheated at her bachelorette party, she definitely got away with it because I couldn't figure it out. My gut was telling me that she did, and I should have trusted my gut, but I went against it like an idiot. Lesson learned, guys. Don't go against your gut feelings. So, March of this year, we get married. Small wedding. Just close family at a courthouse. We have a small reception at a family's house. It was a good time. Just a barbecue, laughing, games, kids. It was fun. Now, Lisa and I never wanted kids. I was like that my whole life. She decided to become that way when she realized that it was just too late, and she didn't want to run the risk of failed pregnancy or things like that because of age. We drove down to California for our honeymoon. First 3 nights were great. Lisa doesn't really drink, but that fourth day, we were going to leave the next day. She wanted to drink. She says, "You know what? We've never drank together. Whenever you drink, I'm just sitting there drinking a virgin, drinking water. I drank at the bachelorette party only because the girls forced me to, but I really wish you were there. That's why I called you. Just makes me feel away. So maybe you'll experience a different me if we drink together." Of course I got excited. I mean, in the past 3 days, we have been all over each other. I didn't need alcohol, but hey, why not try? We start drinking. I will say she is a completely different person, but when she drinks, there's different levels. There's like phases. Now the initial phase, her tipsy phase, she's very, very horny. We stopped the car. We were going to the grocery store. She had me pull over. She wanted to do it. She wanted to do me then. There's a phase where she's very, very talkative, but still horny. Even talking during it. This was just not her. She's not like this when she's sober. She's actually pretty quiet until she reaches climax, but TMI, after we did it during her talkative stage, she's telling me how she's always fantasized about 3 ways and even suggested we give it a try. I said, "Well, I mean, I've done it before, but that's not something I truly want to do with my wife. Those things were fun back in college." She says, "Oh, don't be so boring. So you're telling me if I wanted an open marriage, you wouldn't?" I said, "Absolutely not. Why would I open my marriage?" She says, "Because it's fun and it's 2024. Who wants to sleep with one person the rest of their life?" I said, "Excuse me, maybe you shouldn't drink anymore." She tells me I know what I'm saying. I truly believe this. No one ever wants to sleep with just one person in their life. If you tell me that, you're just lying to me because you think it's going to make me feel good. We're not even designed to be with one person. I look at her and I said, "You're kidding, right?" She says, "No, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. We all deserve a variety. You only live once." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This woman I thought I knew. I thought I vetted pretty well. Yeah, we told each other we were going to marry each other on our first date, but we didn't actually get married that soon. We still took our time to get to know each other, and of course, I thought about the party. When she drank during that time, she slept with someone. I'm sure of it. My gut feeling was just too strong. That feeling came back when I thought about it. I knew I'd made the biggest mistake of my life by marrying this woman, and I needed a way out. When Lisa went to sleep, I called my buddy, my business partner. I told him everything. I asked, "What am I going to do?" "Dude, she's not broke, but can she take everything from me? Everything I've worked hard for in life? Why didn't I think about a prenup? My buddy calmed me down and told me what to do. It's all good, man. Just get an annulment. I didn't even know what he was talking about. He told me about it. He said he was going to send his buddy my contacts. His buddy is a lawyer. He's going to send him my information to give me a call. He's going to help me out. The next day was our flight in the afternoon. Lisa and I did not speak. The tension between us was great. I knew she remembered what she was saying the day before. She felt ashamed. She wouldn't talk to me, and I didn't talk to her. The ride to the airport, sitting at the airport, was very awkward and quiet. I wasn't going to stay with this woman. She didn't speak to me until we landed. We were still on the plane. She looks over and says, "I'm sorry." She grabs my arm. I say, "Sorry about what?" She says, "I'm sorry about the stupid stuff I said. I don't even remember what I said exactly. How did we even end up on that conversation? I told you I didn't need to drink. I'm sorry. Can we just forget about everything?" I said, "No, we're not. And it was very disrespectful that you're trying to pretend as if you don't know what we talked about and why we talked about it yesterday. You know good and well what happened. This is why you're acting this way. This marriage is over." She looks at me and says, "We haven't even been married that long. You can't take this away from me. Is it another woman? You're trying to replace me. You can't just end it now. What about counseling or about talking like adults? You're going to be a big child and just leave me because you don't want to play anymore." I said, "Yep, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home." She ended up going to her sister's house and I went back to my place. I started packing up her stuff. By the way, we were living together. I talked to my lawyer that my friend suggested for me, and he told me he can get everything drawn up. That same day, Lisa called me and told me she has a lawyer, and she gave me the lawyer's number and said if I need to communicate with her lawyer. I gave my lawyer the information that Lisa gave me and my lawyer. Let me know that Lisa wants spousal support. Her lawyer is saying that she deserves it. This process took 26 weeks. I did not know it would be so long. This month I am finally divorced. We were not married long, and it took 26 weeks. Lisa definitely fought for spousal support. That's part of that reason why things were held up. She didn't get it. She didn't deserve it. This should have been done within a week. Oh, well, I got what I wanted, a divorce. I will never, ever marry in my life. It's not worth it.
We haven't been married that long. You can't take this away from me. Oh, watch me do it. Dude, salute to you, man. What does she mean? You can't take this away from me. I can do what I want. I don't do the open marriage. And I'm here to tell you, she definitely cheated on you at that bachelorette party. She knows why she doesn't drink. She can't control herself. He cheated on you at that bachelorette party, buddy. You did the right thing. Luckily, you got that annulment, but dang, those annulments take that long? I don't know why. In my head, I was thinking because I hear people say, "Oh, just get an annulment." It was less than a year. I thought it would be like quick and fast. Dang, dude, it took you that long? Woo. You learned your lesson. He said, "I'm never getting married." Not for me. I get it, man. He's talking about you only live once. We should do this. Nobody wants to be with one person. No, ma'am, you don't want to be with one person. Speak for yourself. Stop trying to speak for everybody else. Just trifling. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you want to send in a story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That's truestorynation@gmail.com. Catch you guys at the next one.